Hello and welcome to my kitchen. It is pouring rain. I don't know if you can hear that, but I almost think I should be playing the song Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. So better rain than snow, although I anticipate by the time the night comes here, this will be snow. And if you're traveling on the Coquihalla or anywhere on the mountain roads, they're saying freezing rain and so I guess that means we have to get in the kitchen and cook. Hi, Linda. Great to see you. So today's cooking class, we came up with some new product very recently, and we had a collection called With Julia Child, or With Julia, Cook with Julia. And one of the items that we had was beef dip. Now, I guess I'm in the mood for soup. I have been craving soup. Have you been making soup like crazy? Let me know. What's your favorite soup? Because we're going to actually make a soup out of the beef dip. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do this is way back in the day, we used to have a beef broth, and we don't have that anymore. But I opened up this package, and this is how I cook in my house, just so you know. I opened up the package, and I just imagine how I can adapt it. So I'm going to adapt the beef dip into hamburger soup. So I'm going to get started because I'm going to do it a little bit fancy today, but if you don't have the time and you don't want to spend the time in the kitchen to do this the fancy way, just know I can adapt it for you. But I'm going to do caramelized red onion for this. It's just going to give another layer of flavor. If you just want to throw in an onion, go ahead. So I'm going to use our 4-in-1 mandolin. I've got a small little red onion. I was actually at the little farmer's market that's getting close to being closed. Oops, I should probably change the blade. And of course, all their produce is on sale. So I just thought, why not? And then I sort of started thinking about all of you who want to save money. And I've been telling you, when you see products that are on sale, buy them and prep them and get ready. So you saw me last week with all those chicken breasts. By the way, as soon as my son arrived home last night, they were into the balsamic chicken fingers. In fact, he phoned me and he says, okay, frozen, how long do I cook them? So just know, he loves them as well. So I've changed the blade. I've got the slicer and the dicer attachment in here. I definitely use a finger guard because when you're using these extra blades, it's a little bit harder to push it through. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this onion sliced up. Oops. And it basically got right down to the top, which is great. And we're going to put this in our saute pan. So grabbing a little oil, let's get the stove cooking. We're also going to be cooking with barley today. And I'm going to give you a cheat because this soup will always taste a little bit better the next day. So if you have an opportunity to do some of these things in advance or cheat a little bit so you can have a really good meal the first day and the second day and the third day, definitely. So a little bit of olive oil in there. We're going to heat it up and we're going to sweat these red onions, and then we're going to cook our, oops, I just noticed a little peel there. We're going to cook up our hamburger. So this recipe is adapted from the Best of Bridge. And if you're not familiar, you Americans might not be aware of it. I'm sure every Canadian is aware of the Best of Bridge cookbook because the Best of Bridge goes back. How many of you are familiar with Best of Bridge cookbooks? These recipes go back a long, long, long time. In fact, I think it goes back like 45 years, 48 years. And it was some women who played bridge. And of course, let's face it, a lot of us talk about food, especially if you're an Epicure ambassador like myself. And so they started making this cookbook and made multiples of them. And in fact, that cookbook sold, are you ready for this? Over 3.5 million books are sold. Now, the original 4 people that were there, 4 of the 4 people that had started this have since passed because it's been some time, but they've actually brought in new people so the success of that cookbook can continue on. So it is a really good recipe. So trust me, this is really good. Hi, Eva. I see my mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Hamburger soup, I know you've probably made this. So here's how I'm gonna make this extra super special. Now, you could use any onion you want. In fact, if you don't want to chop up onions, you could even use our 3 onion. But like I said, I got onion on sale at the market. But we're gonna make it a little bit nice. I chose red onion because there's higher antioxidants in there. And we're going to make it sweet and savory all in the same time because it's gonna give us extra flavor. So I'm just gonna use my 4-in-1 spoon, and I'm gonna put roughly about half a tablespoon of sugar in here. Sugar and onion, yes, because there is lots of natural sugar in the red onion, but we want to sweeten it up just a little bit because why not? It's cold outside and I think I deserve a little treat. Now, the other thing I'm going to add to this while we're sweating this out is we're gonna add a little bit of red wine vinegar. So like I said, if you don't have these extra little things, just sweat out your onions. Don't worry about adding the sugar. Don't worry about adding the red wine vinegar. But I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna make a caramelized, sweet, yummy, sticky, gooey onion flavor to the hamburger. So, and how much do I put in? Well, it's got a little sprout, just a little sprinkle thing. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on. I'm gonna guess, if I was a guessing girl, what would it be? Half a teaspoon? Maybe a teaspoon at best. And this, I can smell it. So this is just going to add a little bit of liquid in here, make it taste super yummy. And we're gonna, like I said, just reduce this a little bit. So let me tell you some fun food facts and tell you what else we're doing here. So we're going to be adding pearl barley. And if you're trying to stretch your budget, this soup is one that you're gonna wanna double or triple the recipe because it freezes like a dream. And so if you're preparing this in big bulky volumes, just know you can freeze it up to about 2 months in the freezer. Now I've got pearl barley here, doesn't matter what brand. And like I said, this soup always is better if it can be like chili. You let it stew for a bit. But to save on time, I've actually thrown it in the microwave, and I'm going to introduce you to one of our new products, which is our steamer. So we've got a brand new steamer. So we're gonna be using this as well. So I'm gonna go grab it right now. Let me go grab the barley because I want you to see it's hot out of the microwave. And the reason I don't put the microwave on while you're watching, because this only takes like 10 minutes in the micro, is because I find when I'm microwaving and talking with you guys live on Facebook, quite often it kicks me out. And it's like, I don't know what you're watching and what you're not watching, so I just do it in advance just to save on that. So let me grab that for you. So I've made the barley in our square steamer, and basically I'm doing one recipe, so I'm not doing 2 or 3 times. And I put in half a cup of the pearl barley with 1 1/4 cups of water. Put the lid on it and steam it. This is ready to go. It doesn't need to really cook anymore, but it's going to just be able to be instantly eaten. So isn't that fabulous? Just like our rice. I love the multi-purpose steamer, like so useful. So we're gonna use this one as well. Okay, so these onions are coming along. You can see how they're getting browned a little bit. Once I've got these onions sort of started, we're gonna grab our hamburger. So this is extra lean. I'm just gonna throw this in here. I just saw I'm trying to chop it with this. You know that I have another tool, right? Let me grab it. So much more practical because this has 1 blade, this has 3. So let's get this chopped up. So we're gonna make sure we caramelize our beef here as well, or get it cooked so there's no more pink in it. And because it's getting that extra flavor with that onion in there as well, it's gonna be super, super yummy. My husband, by the way, I just thought this would be a really nice meal for him to come back to because he's actually refereeing football in this weather. Okay, I love football. Not such a big fan of hockey, but why does football have to go so late in the season And why does hockey have to go so far into the summer? Like, I just don't get it. Can they not do time shifting? We've been doing time changes for years. I don't get it. But anyway, I want to warm him up when he comes home. So there we go. What we're going to do in our square steamer, and if you haven't seen this, this is exactly dimension-wise the same size as our multi-purpose steamer, but as you can see, height-wise, it's half the height. So this is really good if you're planning on doing some baking, like with our ooey gooey brand new fudgy brownie. This is what you want. So we're going to be adding some vegetables in here. So I've already chopped them up just to save us a little bit of time. So I've got basically, that was 3 carrots, but they were tiny. So a couple carrots peeled, sliced. You can use your mandolin. We're going to throw in 2 potatoes that have been peeled. And I'm just going to put a lid on this. And again, I'm going to just steam this a little bit because I don't want you to have to sit here. Oh, Sheldon wants to know what you're cooking. I'm cooking hamburger soup, Anne, but with caramelized onion. So I'm making it fancy. So thanks for asking. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in the microwave just because I want to speed the process up. Throw this in for about 5 minutes so that it's sort of semi-cooked because I don't want my potatoes being like mashed potatoes. I do want to have a hearty soup, okay? So give me a second. Let me just throw this in the micro. All right, so we're going to start adding some seasoning because you can see that the hamburger is getting cooked here. He's hungry. I know. And I just sent Dawn out. I think he's up in Vernon, actually, reffing football tonight. So I said I'm making him a soup so when he comes home he can have something warm. Okay, so we'll just finish cooking this up. So let me tell you a little bit about our beef dip, okay? So this beef dip, who's tried this? Donalda? I'm probably sure you've tried this already. So good. Now, the seasoning that's in here is everything that I think this soup needs to have in it, which is, of course, got onion, it's got tamarind powder, we've got inactive nutritional yeast, garlic, mushroom, a little bit of apple cider, which gives that little bit of a ting. We've got herbs, black pepper, paprika, yum. And of course, I've got the onions in here. And this is going to be our soup base. I always just play around with my spices. You know me. I was always a rule breaker. Ask my mom. She always said when I had kids, I was going to pay for it. I actually told her that I think it skipped a generation, so I got lucky. My kids are fabulous. I may have hellions for grandkids if I ever have any, but I guess we'll deal with that. That's why you get to send them home. Okay, so we're going to open up this package. We're going to add this. We're going to add a can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Oh my gosh, it smells good already. Now, the original recipe from the Best in Bridge actually asked for tomato soup. I don't buy processed soup, and one of the reasons I don't buy tomato soup and all those condensed soups is how much sodium is in there. And if you're someone who's watching your sodium intake, maybe you have high blood pressure, one of the easiest ways to get rid of some of the sodium in your diet is to just skip that aisle. Totally. You can modify it. In fact, if you haven't tried it already, try the wintry mushroom soup. Oh my goodness, is that good. Now, just to get a little bit more thickness because of the condensed tomato soup, I'm just going to put in not a full can, but I'm going to put in roughly about half a can of tomato paste, which is concentrated. And I want to add a little bit of seasoning. So we're going to, I couldn't decide. I was debating, do I put in our Italian seasoning because my jar is almost empty, or do I put in the marinara? And if you're wondering, there is a huge difference. If you have smell-o-vision, this has way more oregano in it. So if you're a big fan of oregano, then maybe the marinara. I actually think I'm going, now that I've smelt it, I think I'm going to go with the Italian. Hey, and then I can get a new jar. I love opening new jars. It's like Christmas. So I'm going to use my 4-in-1 spoon again. I'm going to put a teaspoon in there. I'm also going to grab this barley that I created earlier. And this, like I said, if you're cooking for a family, larger family, or you're trying to cut costs in the grocery store, this would be a great soup to add. Now we're also, because we want a soup and not a stew, we're going to add some water. So I'm going to put in, that was 3 cups of water. And we are now just going to let this brew. Super, super easy soup. So we're going to, now if you had just come home from the end of a busy, busy day, you could now leave, you could get the table set, you could maybe get changed into some different clothes, but just set it on the stove, let it just sort of get the flavors cooking in here. Everything is more or less added. Let me go get my veggies. Okay, so here's the veggies that pop in. And you can see how this saute pan is the perfect size for doing this. So this was our celery, our potatoes, and our carrots. It's going to be hearty, it's going to be delicious. And in fact, because I've cooked almost everything in advance, even though it's not going to have the full flavor in here going, because it really needs to basically cook for a little bit. Just give it a little bit of taste, because we may want to put a little bit of salt. Remember, all of Epicure's products are low sodium, so you may want to put salt and pepper in it. So let me just grab a little bit here. Okay, in my opinion, it definitely needs salt. So if you have a salt and pepper grinder, by all means do that. I love garlic, and this is our SPG, stands for salt, pepper, garlic. So I'm going to sprinkle some of this in. If I was guessing how much to put in, I'm going to say I'm probably putting in about 3/4 of a teaspoon. And that's it, folks. How easy is this to make a homemade hamburger, barley, veggie soup, which is super healthy. Of course, we've got that caramelized onion in there. And like I said, just let this sit slowly simmering on the stove. I will plate it a little bit later. I'm going to actually reach out to one of my girlfriends. Anne, you live a little too far. You're off to Tofino anyway. You're boarding soon. Have fun. Enjoy your little getaway. I'm actually going to reach out to one of my single girlfriends tonight, because there's lots for Dawn to have. I'm going to invite her over. How many of you are watching The Golden Bachelor? Okay, so this is what I'm going to be enjoying tonight. Golden Bachelor. I'm going to phone up my girlfriend Kim, see if she can pop on over. We're going to watch The Golden Bachelor, have an amazing soup that's going to stick to our bones, be healthy for us. And I know she's dairy intolerant, so this is why I decided this is what I was going to do. And my mom's saying, yeah, she's what? Are you watching The Golden Bachelor, Mom? Interesting. I don't know. We could have a whole talk about that. Anyway, folks, I'm just going to turn this down. I'm going to let you go. I'll plate this meal. I will make sure that I post the recipe up to my website. But remember, just because something in our line says beef dip, it doesn't need to be beef dip. Think out of the jar, think out of the package, have fun with your spices. Next week, stay tuned. I actually might even do a dessert, so it might have to be recorded as well. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know when you make this soup or the wintry soup, or I grabbed a great big huge broccoli. I think I'm going to do a broccoli cheddar soup with our ooey gooey queso. It's soup weather. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.